So welcome, bonjour. Can you see my slides having an issue with the computer? Just restart, there we go.
We
So,
can skip now.
okay.
Yeah, no.
So basically today's session is pretty straightforward. I want to give you a little bit of a lay of the land. What's the certification all about? For you to consider if it is right for you, why you should join, and also the basic requirements and how the program works, okay? So first of all, I want to reach out. There are many people that are considering. We have already people enrolled for the next cohort. Many of them are familiar with our tools. Some people are new to our framework. So I would like to understand from you, what's your expectation? Why you're here? Why you are considering becoming a certified culture designer?
So for me particularly, we are an organization where we primarily focus on OD related items,
Mhm.
and we would like to make sure culture is part of one of those uh, programs that we offer. And so based on what we saw, so we are mostly in the SME market, SME and MSME, and would like to offer this as part of the our programs.
Perfect. Thank you.
And I think that's the reason we want to become certified, so that we can make sure we offer this from a um company perspective. We can take whatever is there in terms of the material and then discussions with others, so that we can get some clients related to that.
Mhm.
We can offer in this geography.
Beautiful. Thank you, Ganesh. Anu, do you want to share?
Yeah, I think culture makes or breaks an organization. So this is something I'm very passionate about. So I met you last week, heard you, and then I knew that this was something that I wanted to learn more about and be a part of. So I'm excited to learn more about the certification today.
Beautiful. Mark?
Yes, good morning. So I'm currently certified in the Human Synergistics OCI,
Mhm.
and I find that although I do like the detail, I love the data, I find it's very complex and it's really good from a diagnostic standpoint. But I think the real challenge is, how do you take that information and move forward? And so I'm looking for something that has a little bit more practicality, that I could work with maybe smaller or medium-sized businesses to be able to take insights into action.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bonjour. How do you pronounce your name? Just
Hi, that's close enough.
okay.
Yeah, I've because I follow your post, and I used your the canvas, and I tagged you to let you just say thank you. Recently, I work for a charity, and
Mhm.
apart from that, culture is something that's important to me. I'm also an OD specialist, so an area of interest and importance is culture, and getting it right and being able to co-create what the organization culture, a positive one, looks like. So, having used a few of your tools, yeah, I'm interested in it, in going further. And just as the other person just said, so what and what now, will be a good thing. So we harvested all the using that, the canvas. I harvested it and said, all right, well, how do we go further with that? The caveat for me is that I work for a charity that hasn't really got money, and so I can't commit to. I do, well, first thing is to know how much it costs, but I'm not sure I can commit to it right now. But it's something that I'm interested in deepening my knowledge and skill in.
Absolutely. So we're going to get that, into details. As I mentioned, we have people that reach out without any knowledge or practice. We have people like Ganesh that have taken some of our programs. We have people like Bonju that have been using our tools, but maybe haven't taken any of the programs. So I'm trying to make sure I can address, you're coming from different kind of experiences with our tool. So without trying to overwhelm you, I want to provide some context, right? So when we create our culture design framework, which is really actionable, to Mark's point, the culture design canvas and all the tools that basically are connected to it. We also have a quantitative tool, similar in spirit to the one you mentioned, the human synergies, but simpler are more actual, and actually the quantitative information connects to the canvas, so it's very action driven. So we started as a consulting firm. At some point we realized that our frameworks basically were valued by customers, were used by a lot of people, and we say, hey, why limit their use to just our clients? So for good or for bad, we say we're going to open them, make all the or most of our tools available. And we started with one training and then a second. So the culture design masterclass, we started like 6 years ago. We keep evolving it, but basically it's an intro to our framework. It's intro, but it's nothing but shallow. So people learn a lot. It's really interesting, and it focuses more on understanding the current state and the assessment, what's working, what's not working, both of a team or organizational culture. And then the other program, the masterclass is a one-off 6-hour session, and this is a 8 module, 2 hours each, that basically we zoom into each of the models of the canvas. We talk about psychological safety, feedback, meetings, decision making, and you learn a lot of mindset tools, activities, and things that you can basically do to move the culture forward. Then after that, we introduce the certification. This would be the 4th cohort, the one that we're going to launch probably Q1, Q2, depending on people. The cohort is limited. So these courses, we're doing masterclasses 2 per month, this 1 per month, but this one is once every 3 quarters, so to speak, and it's limited to 10 people. So you have to apply. We need to select you. It's not very strict, right? It's very straightforward, but we want to make sure that we bring the people that are really committed to, not just people that want to get a certificate. And I'm going to explain, you get a certificate. You get a certificate even if you attend any of these programs, but this is more about an experience and mastering your skills than just getting another thing to put on your LinkedIn profile. I'm not going to spend much time, but it's this year, actually in October, we kick off a private community in which some people can become our partners. So people that have gone through a certification can become partners. That means representing a particular geography. They have exclusivity. We help them grow their business. We only have 5. We have like 15, 20 people waiting, and we're holding because we're going to be very slow. But in the meantime, we also offer like an associate, a role in which we also, people are part of a community, they continue being and leveraging their skills, but also how to expand their offering, their business. And because they've been certified, we include them in global projects when we need people from different walks of life. So BH, welcome to, you just join us.
Hello, Gustavo.
Hello, how are you?
Morning.
Morning. So basically, I was just explaining a little bit of how it works, okay? As I mentioned, there are people that already went through the training, so they're looking for the certification. There are people that are looking for the certification and they say, I need to complete something else. Yes. And then we have people that since we started with this, we have a lot of people say, I want to become your partner, and they never even use our tools. So that's a even more challenge. But we have people that have been using our tools and they realize they got to a point in which they're getting stuck, they're hitting a wall, and they want to. So this is wherever you're starting, a little bit of the journey. Once again, the community, it doesn't mean that you need to do that. Some people take a training and never show their face again, and most of the people feel, oh, this is a great framework. I don't want just to learn, I want to use it and adopt it and become my main framework when it comes to culture design. So I don't want to spend much time into details. I can, if you want, then send you a follow-up information, whatever, for those who are not as familiar about each of the different pieces. Now, I mentioned, and this is, I'm quoting people. So people, when they attend the program, they say this is not a training. So this is something that has transformed their practice, how they deal with culture, how they deal with clients, how they tackle projects. Okay. The program if the first two programs are, let's say, 80% tools, frameworks, very hands-on, of course, but 20% facilitation, this is all about you. It could take anywhere from 6 to 9 months, so there's no clear end. We have 7 live mastermind sessions every 3 weeks. Hopefully you can attend live. We discuss a lot, but then there's a lot of work that needs to happen asynchronously. You need to complete certain milestones, and you have one-on-one coachings with me. These are not a typical coaching session, so people use them for different purposes. Some people are working with a client, they're facing a challenge, they need to design a huge project, and they want to discuss with me what will be their approach. So they're different, or they're getting stuck, or a client is about to fire. So it comes in different shapes and form, and we basically have very a hands-on. For example, last week I was working with one of the participants, and she was working with 2 clients, and in under 20 minutes I helped her design 2 major sessions with 2 different. So it's really action driven, not just coaching how was life this week, what's getting you stuck, and whatever. So it's very about getting without getting shit done, if you know what I mean. So just for you to understand, the sessions, the live sessions are basically the topic. We're going to talk about challenging your facilitation style. So the idea is to experiment. If you have a very creative facility, to go to more structure, to experiment with different things so you can adapt your style to the client, to the project, rather than rely on where you feel more comfortable. We're going to work on session design. We're going to learn how to use storytelling to tackle complex issues, how to design sessions, how to use storytelling to engage people, especially when we're facing resistance. Using storytelling to empathize with people. Then how to better debrief outcomes and create compelling recommendations. And then the follow-up thing that many times we fail. We do a one-off, a 1 month, 1 quarter, or 6 month project, and then the most important piece of what's going to happen, how we keep the client accountable, the team accountable, and ourselves. This is something that people are very skeptical about it, and they realize that in one session they learn to create their own tools. So I've created hundreds of culture design tools. So I did a little bit of a backward process and tried to understand, okay, what was I thinking when I created, how it started. So I put together a process, reverse engineer process, to help you create your own tools. So that's also, if you have a particular focus on your practice, then you can also not only leverage our toolkit, but also create your own stuff. So this is something that people really love it, because some are, I'm never going to do it, and then they end with one and they cannot believe it. And not because I do anything special, because everything requires some method, and we kind of uncover that. And then thought leadership, you're going to have to write an article capturing your experience, your journey. This is very, let's say, introspective, but in the end, it's also about capturing who you are, how you present, how you show up, how you present yourself to the world, and help you craft in a very human way your value proposition as a consultant, as a practitioner, so people hear you from your journey. So it's really also, it closes the loop really well. So once again, you work at your own pace. There's no rush. You're going to be part of a private group with the cohort of up to 10 people. There's always a pre-work. Could take half an hour, 2 hours. It all depends on how deep you want to go, how fast or no you work. But most of the people that everyone that participated are people that have a full-time job, family, a full-time, you know what I mean? So, and they've been able, no one complained yet. And of course, we're going to be providing additional insights, prompts. So it's very interactive. Without getting all this, but also you're going to partner with one of the cohort members. So you're going to have your duo that's going to help keep you accountable, support you, not just myself. So it's a very interesting kind of learning. Really, it's a community. It's not just have a group of people that I'm sharing a course. It's really a tiny community, right? Some of the milestones, and then we'll open up for questions. You're going to have to facilitate 4 sessions with a particular goal in mind. These are not necessarily additions. So basically, you can use the theme of what you need to basically go through in any of your client engagements. But instead of facilitating regularly, you're going to add some spices, so to speak. You have to complete a personal challenge that's for you to design. You're going to develop a canvas and publish article and complete all your one-on-ones with me. And that's about it. in order to classify or qualify, you need to complete the 2 courses. There are people that are applying, they're going to do, originally that was a no, and then we experimented and it's working. There are people that are taking the 3 programs like almost on parallel path because they started the masterclass and then the fearless culture and the certification overlap a little bit, and it's working fine for them. And of course, as I mentioned, you need to submit a simple form to see if you're accepted and so on and so forth. So without that's the link. Without more a background, I'd like to take your questions. What are the questions you have? What are the things that I missed, etc.?
Can you please put the link on the chat?
Of course. And yeah,
Thank you, Gustavo.
absolutely.
How often do you have the certification programs?
It's once or twice a year. So as I mentioned, we kick off a new cohort every 3 quarters. So now we're running one. It's halfway kind of through. It's going to finish like, I don't know, April, let's say. The formal, not the everyone getting certified. And then we kick off this one maybe end of Q1, beginning of Q2.
Okay, so every single twice a year, basically.
Yes, we've been doing it once a year. Now we're adding one that's every 3 quarters because of the demand. But yeah,
Okay. And which are the schedules in terms of hours and days and like that, Gustavo?
that's a great point. And because this is a unique program, we first focus on finding the right people, right? That's the most important thing. Once we get the committee, we're going to do a introduction session so everyone gets to meet each other. We have some fun, hopefully, but then we're going to agree how the program is going to work. And one thing that we do is we vote because we have people from different time zones. So we don't want to punish some and benefit the others. So what we do is we vote in advance dates. I provide like 5 dates, let's say, and everyone votes. Usually we don't have an issue and we find a time that works for everyone, like 2 months or 3 months in advance, so everyone can join. Of course, the sessions are recorded, but so we don't have a predefined schedule. We define it together. So if I need to give the session at 8 a.m. or 3 a.m., doesn't care for me. I adapt to make sure you guys find a time that works for everyone.
Okay. And in terms of cost or investment?
This you can reach out. I don't have all the cost in top, but I think it's 2,400 the certification per se. But if you haven't done the other programs, you need to complete the other programs first on parallel paths as well.
Okay.
And when people have to do the whole package, we offer some financing and discount. But once again, I don't take care of that. So I design the programs, I show up, but then all that has to do with the operation is my team. So I can. Why are you laughing?
Very good, Gustavo. No. Very good. So
I just.
I have another question in terms of experience required and that type of things. So let me tell you why I'm asking this question. I have a company. I mean, I am a startup dedicated to HR services. By the way, I love your work, Gustavo, and I follow you since several years ago. And I really believe on what you do. So totally fan of you. So and I really want my team to be involved in some of these type of things that you are also putting here. So do you have like a specific requirement in terms of years of experience profile and like that, or what's the position over there?
Eh, we don't necessarily, but what I can tell you is that the certification is designed with people that are really committed. So most of the people that go through it are people that have a vast experience in the topic. However, we have people that are shifting their careers from maybe doing coaching or working in corporate jobs, and they're moving into building their own consulting, and they're finding it valuable and they catch up, so they don't feel like, oh, the guys, so we make sure that everyone kind of basically it's on the same level. So we do different approaches depending on where you are when you get started. But this is not for junior people by any means, right? One thing is not having the expertise on culture, but most of the people have some kind of career experience or leadership
Yeah.
positions, whatever, right?
Okay.
So I want to be, this is not a course. Of course, the other programs, the first two I mentioned, the masterclass and the Fearless Culture program, that's we have anyone attending, but the vast majority are people that have a 10, 15, 20 years of career, right? So, but
Okay. Very good.
and as I mentioned, there are people that have been using our tools for free, and that's part of the deal for 6 years or whatever, and they join the program because say, hey, I'm curious, so I feel guilty because so I want to pay you something I see. And there are people that took a masterclass 5 years ago and then they took the same because the masterclass evolved. So we have a lot of people that come back because they want to be part, refresh the concept, see
Have to
what new
refresh that.
tricks we have to offer. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff.
Okay. Very good.
But then we can talk. I mean, I don't know if exactly because if you're wanting to equip your team, the other programs might be better just to give them a one-off. If but maybe you could be the one who certifies. I'm not thinking this. The certification is not for a team. It's more for an individual. And usually we have people that are working. Most of the people that attend the certification are they have their own consulting firm. They work solo. They have a 5, 10, 20, 30 team consulting firm. But we also have some people that work in corporate and they want to amplify their impact. And they've taken the certification and they really are happy about it as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gustavo, it's Mark here. Just a question about, you said something about you have to facilitate 4 specific sessions or exercises. Can you explain a little bit more about that as part of the certification program?
Yeah, there are, let's say, experiments or challenges that you need to. So one of them is experimenting with a different facilitation style, right? And then let's say you have a client, you're running a workshop. Well, in that workshop that you already have in place, so you don't need to create a new workshop, you are going to have to, at some point, or the whole workshop, whatever, try something different and then debrief on what happened. So the real life experience is really important or critical, I would say, not just important, because that's what we're looking for, people to put in practice what we are discussing and then what happened, right?
Thank you.
Mhm. And I posted the email. It's help@fearlessculture.design. Not previously with hello is the one used for our newsletter. Help is our team that helps. No, but with every kind of request, registration, we offer, I mentioned, packages. Someone else take the whole package, then discounts or financing, whatever you need, reach out to our team. Okay, dates, etc. Any other question or like a one of the most, we can provide more information, but the most important thing is for you to understand, is this for me? So we're not into selling stuff. We want to help the people that are the right people. You can see we have 5 stars reviews on all our programs because, I mean, we really give a lot and we have usually the right people joining. So we're going to protect and make sure that people that join is because they're getting what they need and not to push people that then say, hey, this is not for me. Why did I sign up, right? So if you have any questions related to, I'm thinking about this, but I'm not sure, please let me know.
Nothing else from my side.
Fantastic. Anu, are you good?
I'm good.
Bonjour.
Thank you, Gustavo.
Thank you guys. And for those who are watching the recording, because a lot of people cannot make it live, please, at this point, if you have any questions, reach out or reach out to my team. It's help@fearlessculture.design. I want to take care of every question, challenge, whatever we have.